Scarlet Knights. They come back down 25, and they rip the heart out of Kevin Wilson and the Indiana Hoosiers.
Unbelievable game on Saturday as Rutgers came from 25 down to defeat Indiana. Huge win for the Scarlet Knights on the road. Very pleased to be joined from our studio in Piscataway by the head coach of Rutgers, Kyle Flood. Coach, I'm just going to come clean on this. You know, I spend a lot of my time on Saturday trying to organize things, getting ready for the next show. I had already started putting together my materials on a Rutgers loss. So I had assumed the game was over. Now, honestly, was there a point where you thought to yourself, you know what, I don't think we have a shot in this one?
No, you know, Dave, there never really was. And maybe it's going through the experience we went through last year in the last game of the regular season against Maryland, where we had a similar type of comeback. It's certainly not a situation we're trying to create, but we got ourselves into it, and I felt like our team was mentally tough enough to dig ourselves out of it as long as we kept learning through the game, which they did, and we needed a couple things to go our way, and they did as well, and we were able to capitalize on them. I'm really proud. We knew going into Indiana it was going to take 60 minutes, and it certainly took all 60 minutes.
What was your message to your guys afterward?
Oh, afterwards, you know, I kind of went back to what I had said before the game, and I told them right before we left the locker room, you know, that I wanted them to start fast, I wanted them to stay together, and I wanted them to finish. And I was really pleased with the way we did all three of those things. You know, when you're on the road in a hostile environment like we were, you know, the staying together component is critical. And I thought they did a great job of being mentally tough enough to keep ourselves in that game when it wasn't going our way.
Your first game back after a 3-game suspension, what did it mean to you to be back on the sideline?
It was great to be on the sideline. It's great to be on the sideline for every game. You know, in this profession, you're only guaranteed 12 of them, and that's one of the 12. So it really didn't have anything to do with anything but that particular game, the opportunity to go out there with that group of young people. I'm so proud of them and the way they've handled everything this season. So it was just an exciting day for us, and now we get to come home and do it again.
You talk about everything that they've handled this year, and there has been quite a bit. I mean, obviously, your suspension, you had a number of guys arrested and kicked off the team. How do you feel like this team has managed to stay together?
Well, I think we've got a high quality of person in that locker room, and I don't think there's any way that we could do what we've done this year without that. So again, you know, the people that know our program, they know what our program is about, and they know all the positives that we do on the field, in the community, in the classroom. You know, all those things will come through as people get to know our program. And the people that are still in that locker room, they've done an excellent job of carrying that forward.
Let's turn our focus back on the field. Leonte Carew left that game with an injury. What can you tell us about his status for Ohio State?
I said earlier on the Big Ten call, you know, Leonte didn't practice today, but, you know, we really won't know his status until later in the week. But we've got other guys at that position. In the fourth quarter, everybody got a chance to see Carlton Agudosi, who did such an excellent job a little earlier in the year and came in the fourth quarter, had a big play to help us change the field at one point. And then the last drive of the game, a big third-down conversion, moved us into field goal range. So we've got talented players, and if Leonte's able to play, that's great. He's one of the better players in the country at his position, there's no question. But if not, then Carlton Agudosi ready to step up, and we have complete confidence in him.
So your reward for the great comeback against Indiana is a game against Ohio State. It's the first time Rutgers has hosted a #1 team in 13 years. What does this game mean to the Rutgers community?
Well, they're certainly excited about it. There's no question. If it's not a sellout, I'm sure it'll be announced as a sellout here shortly. But they're really excited about it, and they should be. What I've said to the people that have asked me is, hey, this is life in the Big Ten. You know, this is not going to be a one-time occurrence. So there's no question this won't be the last time that a really talented, well-coached football team comes to Piscataway. It won't be the last time that we Yeah, we actually heard that after we got done practicing today, but it doesn't really impact us. I still think and still believe we had better be prepared to play against both quarterbacks. There's no question about it. And whether it's Cardell or whether it's JT, both guys, very talented players. They do an excellent job within that system out there at Ohio State. So they're tough to prepare for individually, and as a pair, they're tough to prepare for. But that's the job. When you play against an excellent football team like Ohio State is, you got to prepare for all their weapons.
Defense has been a bit of a struggle for you guys. As you prepare for this game, what's your biggest concern on that side of the ball?
It's not so much concern. It's just every week as you look at the teams you're playing, you had better be preparing to minimize their playmakers. And Ohio State has a lot of them. And it starts with their quarterbacks, but their running back Ezekiel Elliott is an excellent player. They've got tremendous players on the outside. A guy like Curtis Samuel that I'm very familiar with from the recruiting process is an excellent player. And then you look at their offensive linemen. 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen have over 20 starts. So they're talented across the board, which forces you to be really, really sound in your scheme and sound in your technique. And then when you do all those things, if you're going to be right, you better get multiple people to the ball because they're hard to get on the ground.
Kyle Flood, head coach of the Scarlet Knights. I know it's going to be a great environment on Saturday night. Try to take a moment to enjoy it if you can, and good luck in the game.
We'll definitely enjoy it. I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.